All right, this week we are putting together the first of the kits that I bought for the kitchen cabinets for the Beachside Bungalow. This is a 3-inch base cabinet with an insert area to insert either a sink or their cooktop. So stay tuned and see how this all goes together. All right, so this week we are going to tackle the 3-inch base cabinet with the that you can put either the stovetop or the sink insert into. And this is what the parts are going to look like. So let's open this up and I'll kind of go through the parts, kind of see if I've got everything. We do have our little cabinet drawer door pulls. We've got our hinge pins. So I am going to find a safe place to put that. Let's go ahead and see what we have. So this is the back panel. So I am going to actually take, I'm following this diagram right here so I can tell that this is number 4. So I wrote just a little number 4 there. This is the top. I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm going to write a 5 on it. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to mark all of these pieces so that I know what I've got. So I'm going to do that off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, this is an organized mess, but I do know what I'm 99.9% confident I've got everything marked correctly. What I did was I taped this together. There's no glue, I just taped it. And that way I was able to try these different pieces and kind of work out where they're going. I'll show you what we've got. We've got 16, which is it's going to be a piece there to hold that. We have our drawer fronts. We have the pieces that go on the sides of the doors. We have the door fronts. And the doors each have 5 pieces. You get the center panel, which is a 15. You get 2 13s, which are a top and a bottom. And then you have 2 pieces that look alike. I mean, these look like they're the same piece, except there's 2 pieces that have holes on the ends, and it's important you get one of each on each of your 2 doors because this is drilled for the hinge pin. Speaking of hinge pins, we have these pieces which will go onto our counter, into our cabinet, and they're the other end for the hinge pin. And there's holes on all 4 of these. So now that I've got that figured out, I'm actually going to go find a push pin, and I'll do this the first couple on camera. I am going to make sure that all of these holes for our hinge pins are open. I'll be right back. All right, so I've got a push pin. You want to do this very carefully because you don't want to split these little tiny pieces of wood. But we want to make sure that we can get our pin through each of those holes where we have to put a hinge pin later. That doesn't mean we won't plug them up with paint somewhere along the line or glue, but we're going to start with them open. There's that one. And then later we will need to put holes in for our cabinet pulls. That's not the one. It's one of these. All right, so let's push all of these off to the side. I'm going to actually put these, in fact, let's put all of these back in the bag before I lose them. And here I went and checked all those holes on camera. It didn't take very long. All right, I'm going to put that in there with it. That way I won't have to round up a push pin next time I do one. All right. So let's untape this and let's go ahead and glue these pieces. Now basically what I've done is I have dry fit this by checking out what goes where. So let's untape. And always dry fit everything you're building. It just makes things go a lot better later. All right. But now I know exactly where everything goes. And and I'm going to use tacky glue. Once again, if you are going to stain this, the manufacturer does recommend using their tinted glue. And I would agree, I've used the tinted glue on stained pieces before, and it works really nicely. It's a really good way to glue things that are going on wood that's going to be stained. Your other option is you could stain and then glue, but it doesn't always work too well. Now, the trick to this is make sure that you have this set-in area. Remember this set-in area from our dishwasher? That goes to the front. So make sure that that is lined up with the front of each of these shelves and the top. That goes on the front, and then that up and down piece goes in the back. So I'm going to start by putting one of these in and putting this in. Double checking that I've got everything going the correct direction. And I'm going to tape it right away. This glue will wait for me. I'm going to do all of these so I make sure I get everything square. Now I'm going to go ahead and work this shelf in. And this one. Come on, go in. That's what's wrong. I'm fighting with this just a little bit. There we go. We've got some working time with our glue, so it's okay if you don't get it set up perfectly the first time. You've got time to work on it. Yeah. I'm going to put this in here and make sure it's going to fit. That is not, okay, somebody is not quite in the right spot. That's okay. This will go in there. And I will want to get that glue cleaned up from the inside before it dries. I don't want it running down inside where it's going to show. All right. So I am going to turn the camera off. I'm going to get this taped really well. I'm going to dig out my Lego square pieces and make sure this is all just the way I want it, and then I'm going to let the glue dry for a few hours and then I'll be back. Alright, this glue has dried overnight, so I know it's plenty dry. Now the next piece we need to put in is this little filler piece because this is a cabinet to hold either a sink or stovetop. The drawers are not real on the top. They're a fake drawer like in real life. So we need to put this piece right here to give us something to glue those drawer fronts against. So that's going to go there. I'm going to put out just a little bit of glue. I don't want too much. I should have put the glue out ahead of time, but I didn't even think about it. All right, so the places we're going to need glue on this one are going to be the ends and the edges. Let's see if I can put this where it's relatively stable. Now that I got that, this is one of the more tedious little pieces in this kit, really. We want to line it up so all those edges are pretty even. Get a wet wipe out. I'm going to kind of use my fingertip inside there to kind of support that. And I'm going to give this glue probably about 5 or 10 minutes just to get a really good hold on this, and then I'll be back and we'll put these pieces on. All right, that glue has had a chance to set up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put these pieces on. We're going to put these little side pieces on. I'm going to show you as a dry fit first, and then we're going to go back and glue them in. Oops. That goes there. This one goes here. This one is going to go up the middle, and then the two drawer fronts are going to go right in there. So I'm going to start with these two outside pieces because I think they will be the easiest to glue in, to get set in the right spot, because they're going to follow this side right here. And what you want to do is make sure it's lined up at the bottom and all along the side. And just tiniest bit. There we go. And now I'll get a little extra glue. Do the other side the exact same way. I'm hoping I'm getting this under the camera. Okay. This one goes here. Now I'm going to put these in here, and these are going to line up with the top of that board and with these. And these should leave a gap in the middle, so we'll have a place for our spacer in the middle. And there will be a space underneath them, because underneath these will go the part that the holes are in that will allow the cabinet doors to open and close. I think I put this in upside down. Where's my I need to double check my diagram, just a sec. All right, I was right. I want the flat side to the bottom, not to the top. All right. Make sure the side of your drawer front is even with that. And now this should just slide in. Yep. It is going to. I'm going to turn the camera off and let this glue set. I'm also going to do some really precise measuring to make sure everything is straight, which I don't think it is, but I have to get my head closer to it in order to see it. So I'm going to let this glue dry all the way, and then we'll come back and put these pieces in and we'll assemble our doors. Alright, this has had plenty of time for the glue to set up while I did some other stuff. I did make one correction to what I did earlier. Upon further looking at the instructions, these do go flat side up. So the drawers have a little lip on this side and they're flat on this side. The flat side goes up. That is one thing I will say. I love these kits, and for the simple pieces, this exploded diagram is great. I do wish that the instructions were a little more in detail on some of the little fiddly bits, we'll say. So that's my only complaint about that. So the next thing we need to do is put in these guys. And we're going to put these in. Now be careful. There is a hole at one end. That's where your hinge pin is going to go. So you need to make sure that that is put in the correct orientation so that your door will hinge. And to prevent myself from getting glue into the hole, I'm only going to put glue on this area that'll glue against here. That should be plenty to hold it in. And triple checking that I've got this the right direction. Yep, there's that hole. Okay. And there's that one. Double checking for the hole. You really can't check too often that you've got that hole in the right location. All right, this one here. And that lines up with the bottom of the cabinet. I'm going to try and wipe as much of the glue out as I can. That goes there. All right, and then that needs to dry, making sure everything is going to fit in the way it's supposed to. And I'm going to let that dry, and our next step will be to assemble the doors, and I'm going to do that in a little bit. So I'll be back in a little bit, and we will put these together, and then when this is dry we can see how it all goes. Alright, so that glue dried. I did some errands, so now it's time to put together the doors. Each door has, well, let's see, how many pieces? Has 5 pieces, I believe, right? 2, yeah. And then 2 of those and 2 of these. So what we've got, you've got the outside edge, and you've got the edge, and this is the edge with the hinge pin hole, so be sure you get one of each of these, because they do look similar. The only difference is this one is rounded and it has the hole in it. So we've got that. These go here, and then these go top and bottom. So let's get some glue out. These are going to be a little on the fiddly side, but that's okay. Let's make sure I'm under camera. I'm doing my best to stay under camera today. I'm having tripod issues. I do need to either replace my tripod or see if I can get a part that's broken on the one I've got. But first I have to wait till payday to do either one of those. Okay, so I'm going to put the glue on all 4 of these pieces that go around the edge for this door. And my plan is I'll do one door on camera and then I'll do the other one off. And then when these are dry, we'll take a look at how this all looks. Okay, one more. All right, now you want to do all 4 pieces at once so that you make sure everything is nice and square. And I'll probably have to get off camera and kind of fiddle with this just to make sure I've got it all put together. It's a little easier when I can get my head over it and pick it up where I can see it. I'm trying to keep it under the camera for you guys. All right, so except for making sure everything is squared up, that's basically how we do this. And I'll fiddle with it off camera, get it all put exactly the way I want it. I'm going to make sure it doesn't look quite square, so I'm going to fiddle a little bit off camera. And then when these are dry, I'll be back. All right, the glue has dried on these guys, and they are done. So and the glue is obviously dried on this. So let's untape everything and see how these doors fit into the cabinet. The only disadvantage to taping this to keep it together when you're drying is you have to untape it. All right, so here are our doors, and they will eventually be pinned in right here. It looks like I do have a little trimming to do. Let's get out the sandpaper. Was I smart enough? Yes, I did leave sandpaper on the table. All right, so that has a little bit of a bump, and that's normal. You're going to have things that are going to need to be sanded from time to time. And I kind of suspected that one might, because it was a little bit longer. There we go, that's that one. And let's see how this one fits. Same exact way. So mine might be put a little bit different than, I may have mine up a little bit, or it may just be these were just a little bit off in their cutting. And either way, it's an easy fix. On, and there we go. We have cabinet drawers. Doors. So this is as far as we're going on this piece today, because I have multiple kits to put together. I don't want to dig everything out, put the finish on this one, put the doors on, and then start all over next week on another cabinet kit. So I'm going to put these, I'll go ahead and put this into the dollhouse and take some pictures so you can see what it looks like in the dollhouse, kind of next to the dishwasher. Next week we'll move on to another kit, and when I get a batch of them done, then we will put the finish on all of them. We'll put the doors on, we'll put all the handles on, and we'll be able to see what the kitchen looks like finished. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you learned something. If you're already a subscriber, thank you. I really appreciate every one of you. If you haven't subscribed, push that subscription button and ring the notification bell so you can see when I put up some new videos. If you like the video, push the like button, leave me a comment, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.